Money, 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 money. I'm rolling in the money, 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 money. I get that fast money in a. I get that fast money in a. Money, 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 money. I'm rolling in the.
Hello and welcome to week 9 of Sharp Bets and Fantasy Sets. As always, I am your host, Nick Fiorentino, and alongside me this week, as always, is Chris Sershaw. Chris, how we doing, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing all right, brother. I'm doing better than my boys.
Yeah,
Two more heads bite the dust.
I think your team and my team have been going back and forth in a battle of like who could be more injured, and I think it's finally over. The debate is over. It is your team, and it's not close. I mean,
I know it's killing me. Every week I check the news. This guy's down. This person's hurt.
Jimmy G and Kittle are just the fucking death nail. I mean, that's just bad. But, we'll see. And Tim, big time, Tim Sikora. Tim, how we doing today?
Doing good, man. Hey, just remember, you could be a Jets fan. So I'll take your injuries all day of the week and 3 times on Sunday.
Yeah. Well, and at least, I have my starting quarterback. Tim, you have your starting quarterback with a shoulder injury. Sir, you're on your backup quarterback, but they're all better than the 4th and 5th string quarterbacks that we will be seeing in Dallas later this week. So could always be worse. But as always, guys, this is Sharp Bets and Fantasy Sets, and you can find us on Twitter and Instagram at SBFS Show. You can find us on the True Exact Radio Network on YouTube at True Exact, TRUEXACT Radio on Instagram and Twitter. And our show is on YouTube on Wednesdays and iTunes on Thursdays. I think I said that right. We also announcing today, are on TikTok, Jesus Christ, TikTok, at SBFS Show. And what we're going to do on there is, so we've mentioned for weeks that, we get text messages and messages all the time about, who should I start here, or what bet would you put here, or whatever the case may be. So now there's a one-stop shop for all of us. We'll all man the TikTok from time to time, and who knows, one of us will answer your questions. So if you ever have one, just shout us out on TikTok, and we'll be able to answer your questions. Tim, before I get into the shows for this week, did anybody hit the big time challenge?
Nope.
Nobody.
Nope. Right. And I want to thank Miguel for wasting $25 of my dollars, as his free bet did not hit. Him, like the rest of the world, is very upset with Jared Goff and the Rams.
Yeah, I laid money with the Rams too. They actually cost me. So did the Saints, really, but. So guys, as always on the big time challenge, send us your 3 picks. If you're going the over under, you need to let us know what the point is. I know a couple people put like Carolina, Atlanta over, but we don't know what the over is when you're making the bet. So make sure you're putting a number to that. Otherwise it just can't be qualified for obvious reasons, but make your 3 picks, send them to us, verified by Tim, and if you hit your 3, you get a free bet, and you can turn that bet into, I've turned $25 into a couple $100, even up to $900 more than once. So, it can happen. So, guys, the shows for this week are big time shows. The True Exact Show on Friday has New Jersey's own band, Gaslight Anthem's drummer, Benny Horowitz. Yeah, there you go, rocking the shirt. I'm rocking, as always, the Guardians. I will be sitting down on Mark's side of the ring with Fred, who subbed for me last week. He'll be subbing for Miguel this week, and we'll be talking all things Undertaker, which should be fun. That's Fred's favorite wrestler, and with Survivor Series coming down the line, we're going to be doing all things Undertaker, so that should be cool. True Exact's album, Young Goat, is dropping on 11/21. So if you're into rap and new albums, that's coming out on 11/21. So that should be cool. And on 11/7, this Saturday in Garwood at Crossroads Bar, there's live performances, including Ren Thomas, who's a friend of the show. There's a $10 cover, but the proceeds are going to a friend of his dealing with some unfortunate circumstances. So if you're in the area and you want to stop by and listen to some live music, eat some good food, drink, get rowdy, wear your mask, whatever the hell, social distance, whatever the hell we're doing, you can go ahead and do that. So with all of that out of the way, we can talk about all things week 8 in the NFL. And I guess we should just kick it off with the Giants and Tampa Bay. And I did pick the Giants. I was the only one. I just felt like after watching them play the Eagles that they had enough talent to hold up, that Tampa Bay was a little overhyped. And I'll be honest with you, they should have won the game. I mean, Daniel Jones, I don't know if he's the answer, and I don't know if us three are qualified enough to make that decision. But do you think right now he's started 20 games? He's an NFL starter for 20 games. I think, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, he's beaten the Washington football team 3 times. He's beaten Tampa Bay once, and he's literally lost to every single other team. So he'd be a great quarterback if he just faced the football team. And he did beat Tampa Bay last year in his first start, I think it was. But is Daniel Jones a startable quarterback in the NFL?
Sure. Not having Saquon Barkley, and at least for this year and even some of last year with injuries, sure doesn't help you out. I still think it's too early. Give me next season. Give me the rest of the season and next season to see. I don't know how high their draft pick is going to be, if they're even going to have a replacement option instead of him. But same thing with Sam Darnold. I can't imagine the Jets not, if they have the first pick and Trevor Lawrence doesn't fucking Eli Manning us and just say, I'm not playing for you. I can't imagine us not taking a quarterback first overall. I don't know. But if not, I would love to see another season of Sam Darnold with, a preseason full complement of weapons, whoever they're going to. It's got to be somebody better than what they have now.
Can't be worse.
I want to get to the Jets
Thank
in
you.
a second, but sir, what do you think of Daniel Jones? Is he the answer?
I don't know if he's the answer, but he's not really the problem either. Like, losing Barkley hurt. Like, that was the main part of their offense. So, like, I don't know. It's as you said, he beat the football team, he beat Tampa, but he's been losing everybody else. But they have a lot of questions on that team. Like, he's not the only question.
What's crazy is last year it seemed like the team was good and the quarterback play. No, I'm sorry. So last year it seemed like the team wasn't very good at all, and the quarterback actually was playing good. But now this year it seems like the team actually is pretty good. I mean, Bradbury, outside of yesterday with Mike Evans kind of showed that he is a little mortal. Bradbury, that is, with 5 catches for, I think, 51 and a touchdown. But their team,
he ain't bad, though, Mike Evans.
No, he's not. But Bradbury shut down, really good receivers. I mean, kept them to nothing. So the team is good this year, but it just seems like the quarterback's awful. And I'll say that I've seen glimpses, I think everybody has, of Daniel Jones playing really, really well. But those interceptions, totally on him, really bad interceptions. And then the worst part is the overthrows to Slayton are like almost egregious. I mean, too many missed passes, too many missed opportunities. I understand that Barkley is a big loss. I think everybody understands that. That's seen him play. He's a big loss. But Daniel Jones is not a good quarterback. I don't think he's the answer. I don't think he's the quarterback of the Giants 3 years from now. I think they would have already moved on. Who knows? Maybe Daniel Jones will be the quarterback of the Guardians, Tim, when we have season tickets next year.
Here's a hypothetical question for you. Rest of the career, Wentz or Daniel Jones?
No, Wentz. I mean, it's without question Wentz. I don't think Wentz – I mean, Wentz has been like – he plays football like Madden. He holds on to the ball entirely too long. But Wentz, if you look at what he did last year and the numbers he put up without any wide receiver and all of the dropped passes, and then this year, he's made some terrible decisions. just don't put him in those terrible decisions. And some of them are him and self-inflicted, like holding onto the ball entirely too long, and then fumbling, and everything like that. But he's getting his guys back. Rager's back. When Miles Sanders comes back, when the offensive line comes back, he's not going to be scrambling for his life as much. He's going to have a little bit more time in the pocket. I would take. I mean, Wentz literally was the MVP at one point until getting hurt against the Rams in that late game down the stretch in the year that they won the Super Bowl. So, and even last year, like I said, with no receivers, has put up a ton of points. I mean, he's a good quarterback. I just think he's a B+ quarterback. There are times where Wentz is going to look like he's the best guy on the field, and there are times where Wentz is going to look like he's a rookie. I mean, that's what separates him from Peyton Manning and Aaron Rodgers and, Tom Brady. And in my opinion, I think Matthew Stafford's a better quarterback than Carson Wentz too. And, but he's showing that he's a B+ quarterback. That's what he is. That's what you're going to get. He's going to be good sometimes. He's going to be terrible sometimes, but
you just said, like, when Wentz gets all his weapons back, he'll perform. What weapons does Daniel Jones have?
Yeah, I mean, Slayton, though, is a solid player. And I like Golden Tate. I mean, no, he doesn't have the weapons that Tom Brady is about to have. But, Aaron Rodgers seems to be doing it with just one wide receiver. There's situations where some quarterbacks make the guys around them better. And there's some situations where, the quarterback, absolutely needs those receivers to be successful. And I think that's what we're seeing with Wentz and maybe even with Daniel Jones. I don't know. They should have made a trade at the deadline. I mean, the deadline since passed. Obviously, it's late in election night, and the deadline's passed. But why not make an attempt for like Allen Robinson or some of these guys that are going to be free agents at the end of the year? I mean, Allen Robinson on the Giants sounds pretty good to me. I mean, not as an Eagles fan, but if I was a Giants fan, I'd be pretty excited about that.
I think they've chalked it up to a just a tankier, not tankier. I shouldn't say that, but like
everyone.
Why give up your future to what? To win the division with 5 wins?
Listen, if Dallas didn't go out and get a quarterback, I don't think anyone in that division needs to make any moves. I think like you said, I think they're just giving up. Whoever wins is going to win the division and get knocked out in the first playoff game anyway. So I think they're content with doing that. Everyone in the division.
And I think that's why I've been like so nonchalant about the season. Like I feel like I can openly talk about the Eagles, but I can openly talk about the Giants and talk about the Cowboys in such a way because I know that, and I'm a huge Eagles fan. I mean, but when push comes to shove in that playoff game, when they're up against, whoever they're up against, they're probably not going to win. I mean, unless they're super healthy, then I think at least their offense is good. Their defense is decent. It's not Super Bowl caliber defense, but it's certainly a decent defense. I mean, I wouldn't rule them out if I knew, in January that they're healthy, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Tim, to your point about the Jets, though, just to move off into that, with Trevor Lawrence, this is the whole reason why I think that Adam Gase needs to be fired now, because I think the only thing that would keep Trevor Lawrence from wanting to go to the Jets is Adam Gase, because Adam Gase is terrible, and he's ruined Sam Darnold. I mean, I don't know if Sam Darnold can ever be the guy that he could be. I mean, it's not all on him. Joe Douglas made a terrible mistake by letting Robbie Anderson go. I think everybody is on board with that. I mean, Robbie Anderson is an exceptional talent, and Joe Douglas, who I like from being in the Eagles system, made a terrible move letting him go. I don't hate him for the Jamal Adams trade because he got 2 first-round picks. Let's see what he does with them. But the Robbie Anderson move isn't good. But Adam Gase is not a quarterback whisperer. We've all made jokes about it. Everybody in the world has made jokes about the fact that he was just Peyton Manning's, coffee runner or whatever the hell he did. He certainly didn't make Peyton Manning. And he, that would be the thing for me as a closet Jets fan, just due to my hatred of the Giants and the fact that I have a lot of friends that are Jets fans that I don't hate on the Jets. I just would fire Gase now. I know some people say, well, it doesn't make sense to fire him in the middle of the season. No, it makes fucking perfect sense because you fire him and you get rid of him and you show Trevor Lawrence that you're serious and you try to get somebody in here that can actually coach him. And Sam Darnold, I'm sorry, but see what you can get for him now at the time, because I don't know if he's ever going to be good for the Jets. He just seems like a broken toy, really, at this point.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Sucks.
Yeah, it does, but we'll see. I don't see us winning anytime soon. That's a spoiler alert for the picks later, but it's hard. It's hard being a Jets fan, brother. That's all. That's the only thing I could say.
Well,
At least you guys have injuries to chalk up to your misfortune there, but we got no excuses except that our coach fucking blows. No, he's not good. I don't know.
Speaking of broken toys with Sir's team, I mean, I don't know where to begin. The Super Bowl hangover is real.
I had my doubts about that hangover. I was like, man, come on, stop talking. But man, everybody they dropping like flies out there, bro.
I mean, it's just insane, the amount of injuries. And, Jimmy G got hurt earlier, and then he comes back, and now he's definitely done. It sounds like he's going to need surgery. If it wasn't for fantasy and sports betting, us three, we wouldn't. I mean, my team will probably make the playoffs, but like we said, I'll lose in the first round. But if it wasn't for sports betting and fantasy, which I think we've all done pretty well with this year, it would be a pretty 2020 year for football. I got to make one.
2020 has sucks.
Yeah, 2020 has been terrible. I want to make just one more point. Yeah, it just makes me laugh just thinking about it. But so we found out I think it was week 6, that Mike Thomas was suspended due to a fight. And then we find out that the fight was with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. And then you see the game against the Saints in Chicago, and Javon Wims punches, who is it? Chauncey Gardner-Johnson in the face. Multiple times, which was kind of funny because it reminded me when he punched him and he just stood there looking at him, kind of reminded me of like Grand Theft Auto 3 for like PS2, where you just run up to somebody and punch him as hard as you can in the face and they just stand there like waiting for another. But what is this guy saying to people that is pissing him off so much that he keeps getting punched in the face like so much?
First of all, my thing is, why would you punch somebody while they're still wearing a helmet?
Well, that's never made sense.
All you're going to do is hurt your hand. Bro, come on.
Who was the guy? Andre Johnson was one of the guys, but who was the corner?
Cortland Finnegan.
Oh, Finnegan, that was it. Yeah. Why would you throw a punch at somebody's helmet? It just makes no sense.
Right. All you do is hurt your hand. That's it. Come on now. The helmet is built to protect your dome.
You're supposed to rip the helmet off and hit him with the helmet, didn't you?
You know what I'm saying?
That's how it works.
Miles Garrett had it right. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
Well, I'm happy at least. I know my team's terrible, but I'm in the play. What were you going to say?
One last thing about last week.
Yeah.
Is Tua going to be the new
Tebow Tua?
Is that what's going to happen here? He's just going to get put into games and not do anything to win, but still somehow win in the end?
Well, I don't want to foreshadow my picks, but I definitely think that Tua, there's still a lot of mystery behind him, but mystery doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. Like he could be very good. I mean, he didn't have to do a lot to win that game. I mean, Jared Goff is a fucking moron, terrible quarterback, and he cost him the game. With 4 turnovers, which is funny because I texted you guys earlier and I was like, well, because I had money on the Rams cost me in a few bets and a few parlays, and I know they cost you too, Tim, but
yep.
We talked about, I was like, oh, you're not going to win many games turning the ball over 4 times, and then the Eagles turn the ball over 4 times and win the game, but I don't know. It's just like...
I don't know. Vegas knew something because it was a little fishy when the Rams was only favored by 3 points to them. You would think hey man, the Rams should beat these guys, but Vegas knows. I
made the bet, so I don't blame anybody but myself. I'm the moron, but I feel like I definitely was talked into that because I I just hate betting on things I don't know enough about, and I didn't know enough about Tua, and I was like, but it's the Rams, and I thought the points were there, laying not much. I thought they'd just blow them out. I mean, Miami's still Miami, regardless of who their quarterback is, but that's why it's betting, and that's why I'm not a millionaire. So it is what it is. But I will say this. As the saying goes, when you win, you never bet enough. I had a very successful last week, whether it be in fantasy or betting. We'll get into the primetime picks. Do you guys have anything else in week 8? Or are you ready to go into week 9?
Week 9, baby. Dial
Week
it up.
9, let's go.
So I guess the 3, what did I call that shot? The 3 wise men? I guess the 3 wise men worked because I had probably my best week since I think week 2 or 3. No, week 2. It was definitely week 2.
Of what, 2016 or?
Of this year. When I won a big time bet in week 2. In this one, I hit my 2 out of 3 in my primetime picks. I think 4 out of the 6 playmakers on my DFS lineup all scored touchdowns or had at least 70 yards. So I had some pretty good picks there. My parlay hit 3 out of 3, and my best bet hit as well. So I had a pretty good bet. The only reason I didn't win cold hard cash was because in the first leg of games, the Rams fucked me, and in the second leg of games, the Saints fucked me by not just scoring a touchdown because they were laying 5.5, and that's what I had. They won by a field goal. So I lost most of my parlays on those 2 teams, but if those 2 teams, or even one of those 2 teams covered, it would have been close to $1,000 day for me again. So sucks, but again, that's why it's betting. So for primetime picks, obviously I am the winner because of the Giants. So thank you, Giants. So I'm just drinking tequila straight anyway. So I'm just going to take a big old gulp. For anybody that thinks that I'm drinking water and I'm a hustler, I'll pour more tequila in my glass. Just to prove.
No song this week?
No song this week. It didn't come out so well. So here's some more tequila going into my glass. A plug for Casa Dragones tequila. If you've never had it, it's like drinking water. What tequila are you guys drinking today? Nice glass. Is there a brand? Is there a brand? No, that's Cafe Patron. You suck.
Yes, it is.
Oh, Jose.
All right. Well,
I don't trust her. I can't see it.
That's
How was that?
That's Cuervo.
Jose Gold.
Yeah,
That's
fill that
gold.
shit up.
It's gold.
No, this shit's empty, sir.
No, it's all right. It's there.
Salud, fellas.
Big time drinking.
That's a tequila I can get behind.
Where's the popcorn?
No,
it's
that's
not,
good.
it's not a tequila.
It is now.
All right. So prime time, you guys can take a look at the standings. I finally gained a game, which was much needed since I suck and I'm in last place still. We have no guests this week. We had some technical difficulties from Moravik, who we had on earlier in the show start. But coming down the line, we have some pretty cool guests. We do have Chris Lopresti from WFAN coming on not next week, but the week after that. So that should be fun. And we've reached out to a few more people to see if we can get some more people on, which should be cool. But I digress. We'll get into Green Bay at the Broken Toys, San Francisco. Green Bay laying 5.5 is the line that I see, and the over-under is 50.5. And this game's super interesting. You got Jones, who got in a limited practice today, Aaron Jones, but they're not optimistic that he's going to play. You got A.J. Dillon out for COVID. You have Jamal Williams out because of being in close contact with A.J. Dillon. I'm not even sure the names of the running backs that they have now, but I know one's a practice squad running back, and I know the other one's more or less a scat back. And then for San Francisco, you have no Jimmy G or Kittle for San Fran. I'll start. I'm going to go Green Bay laying 5.5. I'll take Aaron Rodgers over a backup quarterback. That's honestly my only reasoning. I think the loss of the running backs isn't going to be too crazy because of the fact that they have Aaron Rodgers. That's my guy. I'm going Green Bay minus 5.5, and in the over/under at 50.5. That's what I have it for. The under, but I don't feel great about it. But I'm going Green Bay minus 5.5. Sir, it's your team. What are we doing?
Give me San Fran plus the points. Historically, like last year, Green Bay played them twice, and they caught a whooping both times. I mean, yes, Jimmy G played both games last year, but Nick Mullins, there was controversy that he was going to be that he should be the quarterback over Jimmy. He had a bad game, and I think it was on prime time. I guess your boys. He didn't play very well, but let's see what he got. Hopefully he learned from going to the bench. Hopefully he learned something. I'll take San Fran plus the points and give me the under because I don't want to get to a shootout with Rodgers.
I'll say this on your picks. If I was a glass half full kind of fan of the San Francisco 49ers, they obviously are not great against the run, as we've seen with Dalvin Cook. And the San Francisco 49ers, to beat them, to go to the Super Bowl, absolutely destroyed them with the run. Who was the running back? Was it Mostert or McKinnon? Mostert. He's out. But they have McKinnon and they have Hasty, it looks like, as running backs. But I think that, they certainly could win. Tim, what do you got?
Nick, I think I'm going with you. Green Bay minus 5.5. I think injury, you can only sustain so many injuries, and the Niners got absolutely destroyed this week, losing their best offensive player and Jimmy G at QB. And Mullins, I guess, is serviceable, but like Nick said, Aaron Rodgers versus Nick Mullins. Give me Aaron Rodgers. I'll eat the 5.5, and I'm also going to go under 50.5. I just don't know how many points San Fran is going to be able to score.
That's going to be a theme throughout a lot of my picks. But moving on to the Sunday night football game, you have New Orleans at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay laying 5.5, and the over-under of that game is 52. Here's the deal, and we mentioned last week in a bunch of games that weather was going to play a factor in a bunch of games, and for the most part it did. There's supposed to be like a hurricane coming to Florida soon or something, and at the very least there's going to be very bad weather and storms in that game. And when there's weather and when there's storms like that, you tend to bet the team that's getting points because usually they're able to kind of piece together and stay close. But here's the deal in this game, which it doesn't make sense to me. New Orleans beat them by 11 points in week one. And week one, they had Mike Thomas. They had, a healthy defense. I get all that, but they beat them by 11 points. And now I'm getting 5.5 points with the Saints. I definitely like the under of 52.5, but if this goes 1 point less, I don't know if I necessarily would like it. But at 52, I like the under more than the Saints plus 5.5. But give me the Saints plus 5.5. I'm getting the Saints plus 5.5, and they've already beaten the team by 11. And the weather's going to be terrible. And they have Alvin Kamara, and they have Taysom Hill for some reason that they use all the time. And they'll be running the ball. And they have, most importantly, Tay-Train. And that's why I believe that they are going to win or at least cover the game 5.5. Tampa Bay yesterday wasn't Brady's best performance. They're banged up too. They are getting Antonio Brown back, but until we see how Antonio Brown is, who knows what to make of that entire situation. Give me New Orleans plus 5.5. Tim, we'll bounce to you. What do you got in this game?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. Weather aside, Saints plus 5.5. The last three games were all decided by under 3 points. I think this could be the exact same scenario. I don't know win or lose, but I can see a field goal at the end deciding the game. Plus, they already beat them week one. Put whatever marbles in that basket. But if the weather isn't terrible, I think they could definitely hit the over of 52. But that'll be a game time bet to do for sure.
They're saying morning rain, morning thunderstorms, leading into more consistent rain throughout the day. But the game's at 8 o'clock at night, so we really don't know until we can get into closer to that game and kind of check the hourly and see what we're looking at. But with thunderstorms, you're always looking at high winds. You're looking at different things like that. So definitely a game to monitor, to say the least. But, sir, what do you got in this game?
Is Mike Thomas? What's the status of Mike Thomas?
I honestly don't know.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, right now, honestly, I had Tampa. Like I said, I'll take Tampa minus 5.5. The game's outside. It's in the elements. Drew Brees historically is not a great quarterback outside of the dome. You know, I mean, I don't know how confident I am in it, but I'll take Tampa minus 5.5.
Well, I'm not going to gain any ground on Tim, it looks like, this week, foreshadowing what I think he's going to pick in the next game, but I certainly can gain ground on you if my picks hit. So we'll see.
Or you could be further away.
Or you guys could be doing Hennessy again.
Well, I still have my I don't have a little mini San Francisco 49er hat, but I do have the pink hat. So I might be doing some pink hat Hennessy, but New England at the Jets, probably my least confident pick of the three. New England laying 7. I mean, Sam Darnold is hurt, but he's going to try to play through it. They don't have a lot of playmakers. You know, Denzel Mims looks great. 2 catches for 42. Then they don't fucking throw to him for the rest of the game. Extremely frustrating when you have Denzel Mims on your fantasy team because everybody's on a bye, but maybe I'm just a fucking moron. I don't know. So maybe it's my fault for having Denzel Mims on my fantasy team.
Hey, I'll tell you what, 2 for 42 sounds like a great game from a Jets receiver. You fucking probably made out well.
No, it is. But unfortunately in that league, I faced Patrick Mahomes, Devontae Adams, and DK Metcalf, and all 10 of their touchdowns combined. So I lost handedly in that league.
Doesn't sound like a good week for you, sir.
No, I get fucking smashed by like in another league. I faced Tyler Lockett last week in his 3 touchdown game, and then this week in a must-win week, I faced Dalvin Cook. So it's just like I just can't catch a break. Sometimes you just don't win.
The beauty of fantasy football.
That's it, man. At least I'm better than I am in more leagues than I'm losing. I think right now, if the season ended today and playoffs started this week, I'm in the playoffs in all but one league. So,
all right.
But again, I digress. We'll get to New England at the Jets. New England laying 7, the over/under 42.5. I kind of like the over. Maybe I'm an idiot, but I kind of like the over. And give me New England minus 7. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what Darnold is. I don't know how injured he is. Obviously we have Cam Newton, who is not playing great right now. They just traded for Isaiah Ford. I don't know. It's a slot man. Definitely somebody who in a deep league I'd target in free agency in my fantasy league because, you need that guy to fill the Edelman role, and Isaiah Ford is actually pretty decent. I think they can get something for him. It's just crazy to me that they trade – what they get for Isaiah Ford, or they gave up a 6th or a 7th round pick?
Yeah, something like that.
And then last year they gave up a 2 for Mohamed Sanu. I mean, it's just odd to me. But give me New England minus 7, sir. What do you got?
Sorry, old boy. I can't bet you boys. Give me the Pats minus 7. So I can't do it. Can't do it. And you know what? Honestly, I'm kind of gonna lean toward the under because Cam has not exactly been tearing the world up, offensive wise. He started out the season so promising. The game against Seattle, he was balling, but now it's been slowly declining. I see this game being like a 19-6 ball game or something like that.
It's not going to be a very good game. Tim, what do you got?
I mean, here's the thing: the Jets can't score. They've had less than 10 points every one of their games except for one this year. I mean, it's not pretty being a Jets fan. I think they're in full tank for Trevor mode. They just keep trading away whatever minimal pieces that they had left on defense. They just keep shipping them out by whoever would take them. Cam Newton's not fucking great either. They realize that he can't throw the ball, so just stick everyone in the box and stop him running and force him to throw, and he's not good. With that being said, the Patriots are still probably going to beat the Jets by 14, so I'll take a -7, and I'm also taking the under 42.5, and I never, ever, ever, ever say take the under when it's anywhere close to 40, but this might be one of the ugliest Monday night games you'll ever see.
Mm. I must say one thing. I know the Jets traded Williamson, your linebacker. He went from the winless Jets to the undefeated Steelers. It's a little bit of an upgrade.
Hey, some people got all the luck.
You know what I'm saying?
If you saw his Instagram, it was hilarious. With him in full uniform, sticking his thumb out.
You're trying to get a cab or something out of town?
Yeah, it was great.
Can you imagine a guy like Isaiah Ford who went from Miami to the Patriots if you had said, yeah, in 2 years, don't worry, you're going to get traded to the Patriots, but then you come to find out that now you're going to the worst team. You're going to the Patriots instead of Miami when Miami's actually pretty good right now. Their special teams is good. Their defense is very good. They got a quarterback who by all counts looks like he's pretty good. And then you go to the Patriots with Cam Newton, who fumbles all the fucking time, and they have no playmakers whatsoever. And they got to trade that. They got to trade for Isaiah Ford so they can get a playmaker. Fucking Patriots, man.
Yeah, but
how the mighty have fallen.
Somehow they'll end up with Trevor Lawrence, and I will hate my life for another 15 years or however long they're gonna own the East.
If I was a Patriots fan, I wouldn't care at all. Like, they can go 0-16. And I've seen my team win so many Super Bowls. They've sold so many. Like, they deserve what they're getting right now, but the cost was multiple Super Bowls. I don't know. Depends on what's more important to you. Consistency or multiple Super Bowls.
Give me
both, because that's what they fucking had.
I'll take the rings. Yep. So getting into DFS, I'll go last on this just because. So, sir, we'll start with you.
All right. Well, so this week, at quarterback, I'm going to go with Mr. Deshaun Watson at 7,100 against the Jaguars. He's had 300 yards and 2 touchdowns in his last 4 games. The brother's been playing well, and Jacksonville, well, they are not very good. I think Minshew Mania is coming to an end soon. At running back, hopefully I'm not a week short on this one, but give me Dalvin Cook. You saw what he did last week. Put up 51 and almost 52 DK points. Detroit got killed by the running back last week by the Colts. So I look for more of the same for Mr. Cook at 8,200. Or my RB2, I'm going to give you James Robinson. He's the top running back. I said talk about Minshew Mania, but James Robinson's running the ball. You know, he's the top RB in Jacksonville. He's put up double-digit fantasy points every game so far this season. So hopefully that continues because they're going to have to score to keep up with Houston. At receiver, to pair with Mr. Watson, I had to go a cheaper option. I had to give me Brandon Cooks at 5,500. He's 1,300 more than Will Fuller. He's averaged 22 DK points in his last 3 games. So as long as he's healthy, he's been playing pretty well. Wide receiver 2, last week DK Metcalf balled out. Give me Tyler Lockett, 6,800. You know, Buffalo's defense isn't that great against slot receivers. To me, this is more of a boomer bust play because like 2 weeks ago, Lockett went off. Then DK, I think it's back to Lockett this week. At my wide receiver 3, I'm going with a little dart throw. Give me Darnell Mooney from the Bears against the Titans at 3,900. Again, he's got 5+ targets the last 6 games. He's a deep play threat for Nick Foles. So I'm hopefully he comes down with 1 or 2 of those. At 3,900, not too bad. At tight end, Nick, I'm going back to an old friend. Give me Logan Thomas, 37. You know, he has double-digit DK points the last 2 games. I've been off of him. Oh. Either he's going to continue it or he's going to burn me this week.
One of the two is going to happen. Just a funny story on that. Since they're playing the Giants, Tim and I were in Ocean City just a few weeks ago, and he was talking about different tight ends that he should pick up, and I forget which one I ended up saying, you should pick up him. But one of the options that he gave to me was Logan Thomas. And I was like, I wouldn't pick him up. But then I picked him up against Tim in another league, and he did score a touchdown.
He's got
Against the
touchdowns in back-to-back
Giants,
weeks.
and he's playing the Giants again. So I don't hate the pick.
Yeah. Hey, hopefully he puts up, continues what he's doing. Hopefully, at the flex, I went Justin Jackson at 4,900. Eckler's still out. I like the target running backs against the Raiders. So, he's been playing pretty well in the last couple games. And at my defense, I used the remaining salary on the Arizona Cardinals against the Miami Dolphins. They get sacks. They've had 2+ picks in back-to-back games. And as you say, Tua, he's like the Tim Tebow of football, hopefully, as Six says. So hopefully that defense can shut him down, maybe get him and walk out with a W. That's my lineup.
That's a good lineup. Not to foreshadow too much, but half your lineup is pretty damn good. Tim, what do you got in your DFS lineup?
Oh, I got fucking nobody that he has, so we'll see how it works out for me this week.
Well, then you have nobody I have either.
All right, sounds good. Let's run through these really quick. QB, Derek Carr, 5,700 versus the Chargers. Chargers aren't very good defensively, and Derek Carr at 5,700 is a relatively cheap option at QB. Pairing with him, I threw Darren Waller at the tight end spot for 5,800. They seem to go hand in hand at cooking. So that's my tight end. Running back 1, going James Conner against Dallas. Dallas is very, very bad. And if Pittsburgh's going to be up, I could see some garbage time points for James Conner. RB2, Mr. Gibson in the football team, 5,800. They're facing the Giants, another team that's not too good, but they're playing close games. But Gibson's coming off back-to-back good weeks, 5,800 for running back. Throw him in the lineup. Wide receiver 1, Keenan Allen versus the Raiders for $7K. He's been he's been the most underrated receiver, I think,
absolutely,
in the NFL. And all they do in Los Angeles is chuck the ball around with the rookie there, and he's been playing great. So my rookie of the year, Joe Burrow bet looks pretty bad right now, but you never know. That's why the whole season has to happen. Wide receiver 2, I went Gage in Atlanta. If Ridley's out, those targets got to go somewhere. Denver's not terrific against the pass. 4,500 is very cheap, a nice dart throw. Along with my next dart throw, Marvin Hall, 3,800. They're facing Minnesota. The last game, he had over 100 yards receiving. When Galladay went out, I don't think Galladay is going to be ready to play again. That could be a very good play for $3,800. My flex, I went Stephon Diggs, 7,400 against Seattle. Seattle's defense gives up points. Diggs has had a couple good back-to-back games. Throw him in there. And my defense, I went the Texans, 3,100. I thought I saw that Minshew was not playing this week.
He's out.
I think he's out. So give me a backup. I think it's Glennon, maybe. I don't know.
Trash.
I don't know who to. Yeah, I know who he is, but I don't. Give me the defense playing a backup quarterback at $3,100 and plug him in and play. That's my squad. And I promise, sir, I'll enter it in this week because I fucking busted Nick's balls about not entering it, and I forgot to enter it myself. So terrible. I would have won, by the way, last week. Fucking.
I'll enter mine too. I tend to not do that.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't get the invites anymore when you guys do that. I feel like
it automatically appears. You just have to go to the group.
Once you skip for 7 weeks, they just are like, fuck this guy. We're done.
Dick, you picked Keenan Allen, right? You said.
Oh yeah.
the funniest thing about Keenan Allen, and I agree, he's super underrated. But the funniest thing about Keenan Allen is when he himself thought that he was being underrated and pretty low on the top 100, or maybe not even on the top 100. So he tweeted out Mike Evans, Tyreek Hill, and Chris Goodwin, not Chris Godwin, kind of ripping him, and tweeted some white guy on like a ATV in his Twitter photo. So he made that guy famous. Chris Goodwin, whoever you are, at Chris Goodwin, famous because Keenan Allen is a better wide receiver than you. I don't have to spend as much time on my lineup because Sir kind of did it for me. But at quarterback, Deshaun Watson versus Jacksonville, 7,100. Jacksonville averaging 22.5 fantasy points to quarterbacks. Watson's last game against Jacksonville, 34 points due to 359 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also threw 2 picks in that game, and he still got 34 fantasy points. So let's see what happens if he doesn't throw those. For running back, I'm going Dalvin Cook against Detroit at 8,200. Detroit's given up 32.13 points against running backs. And Cook is coming off the 4-touchdown game, but that looks like a game where Cook is going to just ball out. Back to the running back at 5,000 is DJ Dallas at Buffalo. Of course, my pick would change if it looks like anybody was healthy for Seattle. But in the time that he was playing as my flex last week, he played pretty well, got 23 points. So give me DJ Dallas. For wide receivers, once again, I'm going average to slightly above average wide receivers playing bad defenses. I'm taking Claypool, 5,700 against Dallas, who's the 7th worst defense against wide receivers. Give me Will Fuller to pair with Deshaun Watson at 6,800 versus Jacksonville. Like I said, had a touchdown last time they played against Jacksonville. And then give me Marvin Jones at 5,100 against Minnesota, who's the 3rd worst defense. Kenny Golladay has already been ruled out. He was ruled out on Monday for the game, which is not great since they didn't even play around. They just ruled him out. Sounds like it's going to be a pretty lengthy injury. Marvin Jones coming off 2 touchdowns last week, so I'll take him. The cool thing with him, aligned with Kenny Golladay, is he's a big-time contested catch wide receiver, which usually means and translates to a guy that they target in the end zone. So, again, 2 touchdowns last week, so that's a guy that I want. The worst defense in the league against tight ends is the Atlanta Falcons. So give me the guy that's no, I'm just kidding. I'm taking Noah Fant at 4,600, not whoever the guy Sir has been taking.
Come on, man. Go Albert O. What's up? Albert O.
I'm not even going to try to say his name, but I'm taking Noah Fant, 4,600. Looks like he started to come around last week. It looks like he's getting healthier each week. Give me Noah Fant, 4,600. Flex Justin Jackson again. Against Las Vegas for 4,900. They're the top 5 worst run defense, but Justin Jackson's catching passes. Just one minor note. Actually, I'll just say it after. I'm taking the defense. I'm taking Minnesota for 2,400. Detroit just doesn't look good. Something's off about them. Maybe it's the fact that now Galladay's hurt and now out. But we saw what they looked like when Golladay wasn't playing earlier in the year, and what it wasn't very good. In one league in fantasy, it just drives me nuts with people that just don't want to do anything. The guy I'm trying to trade with has Austin Eckler, and he has no running backs, no good running backs, but he has Tay-Train on his bench. I have fucking Justin Jackson, but I have Kamara, and my team is so deep at this point where I can give Justin Jackson away for Tay-Train just to get ready for an inevitable run, because I have Nick Chubb coming back off IR in Week 10. I have Chase Edmonds. Who knows how long he's going to run for. When Kenyon Drake is healthy, Chase Edmonds is the best running back on that team. I have Gibson. And then I have 3 receivers in a league where we're only playing 2 receivers and 1 flex option. I have DJ Moore, Will Fuller, and I have A.J. Brown. But I'm giving this guy away. I'm like, Justin Jackson, Tay-Train. I leave it out there. Guy doesn't fucking respond or do anything. It just drives me nuts when people just sit on their hands when it comes to fantasy football. But
sounds like a league I was in.
Big money. But It is what it is. But that's my DFS lineup. And it sounds like we're pretty aligned, you and me, sir. And Tim, your picks are pretty good too, I guess, right?
I don't know. I would have won last week, but I didn't put my lineup in.
I don't know.
You don't get to say anything, Nick.
I know. I couldn't say anything. I was drinking some of my Casa Dragones tequila. For parlays, I went 3-0 last week, so I'll go first in this. I really like Miami plus 4.5 against Arizona. I think Arizona, once again, who I've been kind of beating the drum against, is completely overhyped after beating Seattle, who Sir pinpointed had a terrible defense and were exposed on their defense. I don't think Arizona is that great, and it's not that I think Tua is super good. I don't know what Tua is, but that isn't necessarily a bad thing. I think their defense is pretty good, and I think their special teams is pretty good. And 4.5 points just doesn't seem right to me. So give me Miami plus 4.5. I mentioned this team last week, and if you listened, you would have won some money, albeit on a last-second play. But give me Denver plus 4 against Atlanta. Why is Atlanta favored against anybody? Unless they're playing the Jets or, Dallas with their fourth-string quarterback. Why is Atlanta favored against anybody? I'll take Denver all day plus 4 in that. They're quietly, they've won 3 of their last 4 games. They're quietly starting to come together. They've gotten some healthier defensive players back. A.J. Bouye came back. I just think that they're set up for success in this game. It pained me to not pick against the Baltimore, or to pick the Baltimore against the Baltimore Ravens. I think they're playing Indy. I would have taken them at 3, and I beat the drum last week about teams after facing Pittsburgh and how well they do. Well, Tennessee lost outright to Cincinnati the week after playing Pittsburgh. Actually, fun fact, teams at the half, going into halftime in their games after playing Pittsburgh are 0-6. So I was going to bet the half, but the half is only plus 5 for Indy. So once again, a plus half a point, I mean. So it's not a game that I think I could take. But it's definitely going to be, I think people are starting to catch on that for whatever reason, after playing Pittsburgh, you don't do well against the spread. I'm taking Pittsburgh minus 13.5 against Dallas. I mean, Dallas isn't on their backup quarterback. They're not on their third string quarterback, Ben DiNucci. They're on their fourth and fifth string quarterbacks. And I'm getting Pittsburgh, an undefeated team who only needs to win by 2 touchdowns, just seems odd to me. The fourth and fifth string quarterbacks being Gilbert and Cooper. But yeah, give me Pittsburgh minus 13.5, and I think the better bet in that is the under in that game, which I liked because I wrote under, but I didn't put the points. So unfortunately, I can't tell you what the under is, but I liked it. So and I circled it. So those are my primetime picks. Sir, what are yours?
All right, I agree with you. The first bet, I'm gonna go Pittsburgh minus 13.5. It's against Dallas. Dallas can't score. Pittsburgh's plenty of points, so give me the Steelers. I like this bet even more now. You give me Houston minus 7 against Jacksonville. Whoever's quarterbacking for Jaguars against Deshaun Watson and them boys, Houston should win this game by more than a touchdown. Then my third bet, it pays me, but give me Seattle minus 3 against Buffalo. Buffalo hasn't really shown me much. Seattle's been playing pretty well. It pays me, but give me Seattle minus 3, and that parlay pays plus 615.
Pretty good. Tim, what do you got?
Just don't put the bet in. Just don't put it in.
Why do we agree on?
Shut up, sir. We hang out too much. All right, I got Seattle minus 3. You said the reasons. I got the Texans minus 7. You said the reasons. But don't worry, Nick. Fuck Tua. He fucked me last week. He's going to fuck me again. Give me Arizona minus 4.5. I don't know what he is, but he wasn't good. And if as long as Arizona doesn't have Jared Goff at quarterback, I think Arizona wins by a touchdown easy. But knowing my luck that I've had the past couple weeks, the big time luck has been running out. It's on empty, and I need a kick me up right now. And Arizona's going to give me that kick me up minus 4.5.
Sure enough, I was actually thinking about taking Arizona too. So.
Of course you were. Just like I said, just trash our fucking ticket. Throw it in the garbage.
I like it. I like Miami in that game, but
Of course you do.
hey, what do you guys got for your? Do you have anything else? I mean, we kind of covered everything. It's weird not only having the three of us because
Yeah, there weren't nearly enough
by
shots.
a lot quicker.
I blame Ravic for that.
I blame Miranda too.
I have to save my 12-pack of fireball shooters for next week, I guess.
I
I was getting ready to go shot for shot with them.
and then you'd be on the floor.
Yeah, that's all right. If my picks have been on the floor the past week, so don't worry about it.
All right, guys. Well, listen, thanks for tuning in to week 9 of Sharp Bets and Fantasy Sets. And you can check out our show on YouTube tomorrow, Wednesday, and on iTunes on Thursday. And don't forget to follow us and give us a shout out at SBFS Show on Instagram and Twitter. And follow the True Exact Radio family on Instagram and Twitter as well. And subscribe to their YouTube channel so that you can get all the content that we do. As well as what they do. There's a lot of great shows out there. And again, hey guys, we're on TikTok. I almost said TikTok again. TikTok at SBFS Show. So make sure, you follow us.
Sounds like I need some Roppelman.
If you have some questions, you guys can shoot us, messages on there, and we'll get out to you, and we'll give you the information that you need. So, without further ado, your best bets for the week. Tim, you got something? Oh yeah, I wasn't gonna miss the best bets. But I'm gonna take a look at my phone and see if I can get like a real good best bet on a prop bet. So Tim, why don't you start?
Fuck Tua. Give me Arizona 4.5.
That's your best bet after I said I'm taking Miami 4.5.
Yeah. But hey, listen, other Tim hit his best bet after we all bet Carolina against him.
Yeah, but it was also raining and their quarterback left for like some of the game. They weren't.
I mean, it takes luck, right? Yeah. Well, hopefully Jared Goff. Jared Goff's not going to be the quarterback of Arizona, so we're good. Give me the 4.5.
Okay. Sir, what do you got?
Houston -7 against whoever's quarterbacking for the Jaguars.
My best bet is Pittsburgh money line. No, I'm just kidding. I like
that is a good bet.
For my best bet is Kansas City against whoever they're playing. No, for my best bet, I like to pick a team that I didn't already pick, which always sometimes is a little bit of a struggle. I'm going to take. I kind of like Chicago. +5.5 against Tennessee. I know that Nick Foles hasn't played well as of late, but they hung tough with New Orleans. Nick Foles seems to make the play that matters most when needed. Of course, he can't run like Trubisky. I almost feel like if Trubisky played last week, they probably would have won the game. I mean, because there were a couple times where Nick Foles took the snatch. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, but he, Tennessee's not the greatest right now, and their defense certainly is not the greatest. I mean, look what Joe Burrow did against them. I mean, on a windy day. So I definitely think that Chicago can put up points against them. So give me Chicago +5.5 is my best bet. And if I had to make a pick on a touchdown, give me Jimmy Graham to score a touchdown in that game. So without further ado, thank you, producer Scott, at True Exact for editing the show and putting it all together for us. Thank you big time. Thank you, sir. I am, of course, Nick. I don't have a nickname, but we'll see you soon. Thanks for tuning in.